And in keeping with Trump, John Lewis, did y'all get a chance to read that story about him calling the Donald Trump illegitimate? Not, I'm sorry, his presidency. Let me make sure I say that correct. Calling his presidency illegitimate.
Yeah, I read it.
Uh, I was, I was amazed how, I read the article too, but it was funny how CNN reacted to it. Like, oh my goodness, we had this, this new soundbite, and where John Lewis is, calling the Trump presidency illegitimate. Let's rush right to it.
Right.
And, CNN did this whole thing. Like, I thought, maybe he, found, some really shocking something. But it was the same old talking points that people have been doing since the election.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this stuff about Russia, influencing the election.
Well,
Yeah, ain't nobody had no evidence on that yet either.
well, off the topic. I hate to get off the topic, but did you guys see on C-SPAN how they got breached? Was it Thursday or Friday? I think it was Thursday. I think it was Thursday.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you guys haven't seen that?
No,
I
bring
ain't
us up to
seen.
date. Share.
So they was talking about Russia hacking. They was, how they've been doing their meetings with the people that Trump appointed.
Right.
So it was an individual talking about Russian hacking. I kid you not. And the first thing the time they said Russia hacking, they went off air. And what happened is the reporting is all the power shut down in the building. So when that shut down, the camera shut down. So another person started talking to him, hours later talking about Russia hacking. A cartoon popped up on TV and was broadcast out. I kid you not. So then on CNN, I believe, it was maybe Wolf Blitzer. I think he's on CNN. Yeah, Wolf Blitzer. He was talking, or some individual was talking, and he was talking about the Russia hacking. And then all of a sudden, it was broadcast now. This is on live TV or cable TV. It was broadcast. And when he said Russia, it started mixing at Russia. So it was like Russia, and it was broadcast out. And this is just happened. I think Thursday. This happened Thursday.
Right.
So
Right.
I mean, people bringing up the Russian hacking. It is the same points, but Russia did hack in, and do some things. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they hacked in on the toll booths, but from what the CIA is saying and what the FBI is saying, like no, they hacked in on the primaries and stuff like that. But why would they do that and not hack in the actual election? So,
Right.
I mean, it's the same points, but it is true. They people trying to put it out there, but no one's really caring. I mean, no one's on Trump's side. Not any of Trump's supporters and any of the media that Trump has in his pocket. They're not really caring about that. So
I'll go on record saying I don't care either. It's just I'm not on Trump's side. But the very the very idea that they swayed the election when Hillary Clinton, by all accounts, still won the popular vote.
right,
Which how can you sway an election and the person who's not the president won the popular vote by 2+ some million number in counting, because they're still counting and that number keeps going up. How by how much she won the popular vote.
right.
So unless
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
so unless these hackers hacked into the brains of the electoral college and flip some switch in their brains to get them to vote for Trump instead of Clinton, where's I'm logically I'm still looking for that smoking gun,
Well,
and I'm not finding them.
a lot of propaganda, that they put out there, but also it was two things. They did sway the election somewhat. Even it wasn't a landslide like everybody was talking about. Hillary Clinton didn't win in a landslide, but it was two things. It was on two things. It was a little of that, and it was more of the Hillary camp or the Democrats. How they push Hillary. A lot of people they wasn't going to vote for Hillary. And then when that stuff came out, they really wasn't going to vote for Hillary. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't even going to change their mind. No one, relatives wasn't going to change my mind to vote for Hillary and things like that. So it was a little on both sides, more of on the Democrat side of pushing Hillary instead of Bernie Sanders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but let's look at. I mean, that's again one of those quote unquote things that they use to say, oh, this was an inside job. Trump was in cahoots with the Russians to get elected, and and I hear what you're saying, Chicago. I'm not disputing anything that you're saying, but to in order to hack an election, you have to as they say especially electronic, you have to change things. And them putting out even if they're behind all this fake news, the bottom line is when people went into the booth, they still cast more votes for Hillary Clinton than they did Donald Trump.
Right, it is true.
So that to me, so that's not. I mean, if it was reversed, then I might be more inclined to say, oh well, maybe there was some funny business. But we have the votes now that say that more people, not most, but more people voted for her than they did for him.
Right.
He won because, as we all know, the president isn't elected by popular vote.
Right.
So, and since none of the folks, the delegates in the Electoral College are coming out and say, "Oh no, I voted for Hillary and somehow my vote didn't count." I haven't heard that at all.
That's true. That is true. That's a good point.
So it comes back to to me. I'm like, well, where's the hacking? And to me, it just seems like more political theater. Of this is to keep folks riled up, because I can't wait till January 20th so we can get this over with. Right, I don't want to hear about it anymore.
Because he's going to be our president, and we're not about to stop him. I mean, I don't know why.
Yeah, it's already over and done with.
It needs to stop, because it's just. I think that it continues to obscure the fact that people, this whole electoral college thing and this whole voting thing, people did not elect the president. The electoral college did. Yes, everybody got a chance to participate and vote and say this is who I would like, and those people said more of those people said we want Hillary than Trump. But at the end of the day, that didn't matter, because who's elected? Trump. And why is he elected? Because of the electoral college.
Right.
And that should wake up a lot of people.
But it's not. It's not, because if you look at the narrative, it's still, oh my goodness, the Russians hacked the election. That's how he got elected. See, that's the thing that keeps blowing my mind. I'm like, people, just stop and think. The Russians did not hack the election to get him elected, unless they went to each of those, like I said, unless they hacked into their brains and flipped the switch and made them vote for like the Manchurian Candidate. And had them said a special phrase, and they all voted for Trump and then forgot. That's the thing that gets me. That's where the disconnect is for me.
Yeah,
And,
I agree with you.
Yeah, that's what bugs me. But for John Lewis then to come out and talk about it being illegitimate, and CNN to come back and say, this is just shocking. I forget which one comes back and says, well, how is he expected to work with Trump if he sees him as illegitimate? And it's to me, it's kind of a reverse of, the birthers when Obama was first elected. He's not my president. He's not even from this country. He's really Kenyan.
Right.
He shouldn't be elected president. He's not my president. It's the same thing to me. Well, not the same. There was some other elements involved in that one.
Right.
But it's that same kind of sentiment. And guess what? Obama was still sworn in, and he was there for years.
Yeah. so at the end, it really don't matter.
It really doesn't matter. But for John Lewis, who's coming out and saying that, and my understanding is they still have not met with the Congressional Black Caucus. Not that that means anything anymore, but I don't know if John Lewis feels some kind of way that they haven't sat down with him and had him over for tea or whatever. Um, is why he's coming out and so forcefully saying he's seeing the presidency as illegitimate, that because of Russia.
Right.
So never know. It may be some under other stuff going on politics wise.
Oh, I don't doubt. I don't doubt it. I think they're reaching to try to do stuff before, and then a lot of jockeying, and then I just saw who's singing some Jennifer Holland. Jennifer. Oh, what's the
Hudson?
Yeah, Jennifer Hudson is going to sing at his inauguration.
What?
Yeah.
I thought he was doing some kind of British singer or something like that.
No, she said she did that. At least that's where did I see that? Oh man, I should have put it. In the notes. Oh, where did I see that?
She from actually from Chicago.
Yeah, she's from Chicago. She's from the South Side. Yeah.
Okay.
She went to Simeon and all that stuff. Yeah.
Where did I see that though? She's going to do a performance, and she's going to dedicate her performance to the people.
Oh wow, I didn't hear that one yet.
Yeah, I'll make sure that as soon as I find where I saw that, I'll make sure I send it to you so you can see that. So, but at least Jennifer Holliday will be there, or Jennifer Hudson will be there, and she'll sing, and it'll be nice. And there we have it. So, anyway.